What's up, Mazza here. Today I will give a long-term review of the Turtle Wax Graphene Infused Flex Wax. This type of product is quite similar to other type of products. We have Meguiar's hybrid ceramic wax or Turtle Wax's own seal and shine. We have similar products such as the G-On wet coat, not exactly similar. So this is a spray on sealant which has been infused with real graphene, so no graphene oxide. And I thought today I will give a long-term review of how this product have withstand for my car that is parked outside over the time. And I will only do this review based on the base coat I have put on the car, so I will not do it with, say, letting the product sit there for 3 months, and I have been doing maintenance washes applying the product on top of the base coat. I will do the review on the base coat for you to see how long that lasts. And of course, obviously, if you do apply during your maintenance washes, we will go through how you can apply this product. But if you do that regularly, of course, then the product will last as long as you will do the maintenance. And the same goes for the hybrid ceramic wax or the seal and shine or G-On wet coat, etc. So what is interesting for me is to see or to tell you or show you how long this lasted in a real world situation. So that is that. And this type of product then has been produced or manufactured to make life simple for family fathers and mothers that want to maintain their cars and want to do it in a fun and quick way. Then of course we have these type of products which are godsend in many ways, because it makes life more simple with regards to maintaining your car and giving it that shine and giving it that protection you want to have. And of course, ceramic coatings, etc., will last a much longer time, but the time that needs to go into doing a proper ceramic coating is much longer compared to this product. As an example, this product does not need any curing time, so you could potentially drive it off out of your garage or driveway or whatever into rain the second you have applied it. That does not apply with ceramic coating, so that is a bonus with this type of product. So what I will be doing today is talk a little bit about what the steps are that you need to do with regards to giving the paint the best possible starting grounds with regards to the before applying the product. And that goes for ceramic coatings and any other coating you want to do potentially. And then we will talk a little bit about how it is to apply and buff off, and also of course then how long it has lasted on my car, which is parked outside. But before we continue the video, if you do like the content of the channel, do remember to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and also give this video a thumbs up if you found it informational. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. So as I mentioned, this type of products have been produced or manufactured to make life more simple. Even if you're a DIYer or if you're a professional, you want to get a quick result but still have a protection for your paint and give your car the gloss it needs. And reading on the sticker here, it says apply on dry or wet paint, then buff off, dry or rinse off for long-lasting gloss, slickness, UV protection, chemical resistance, water repellency, and stain prevention. And this is all true, but the question comes down to how long-lasting of a product you want to have. Maybe if you do not want to bother about it that much, then maybe a ceramic coating is more for you. But if you do your own maintenance washes and do maintain your car, maybe this type of product is for you then. And again, then this product, the base coat is applied in one way, but in your maintenance washes, you can use this as a drying aid. So when you have washed your car, you have used your 2-bucket method or touchless wash, etc., depending on how you want to do it. You can then apply this 2 sprays per panel maximum. You don't want to overdo it. And then take your drying towel and dry off the vehicle. And that's that. And also you can use it as a spray on rinse off. So after you have washed your car, you can then spray 2 sprays per panel, and then you will use your pressure washer preferably, because that will disperse the product evenly over the panel you're working on. So that type of steps you can then use for your maintenance washes, and that is similar to Meguiar's hybrid ceramic wax or G-on wet coat. G-on wet coat is only a more or less a spray on rinse off type of product for your maintenance washes. So what I will show you today is the steps we need to do. So what we need to start with, of course, is first of all to have the paint as clean as possible and potentially leveled down, meaning polished, because we want to remove all of the edges or the contamination that we have on the clear coat to have a proper bonding of the product with your clear coat then. And that doesn't just apply for this product, as I mentioned, it also then applies for ceramic coatings, etc. So what we will want to start with is to thoroughly wash the car. So we will start with our 2-bucket method, or whatever type of method you have to safely wash your car, and depending on then the level of contamination you have on your paint, you might want to do a pre-wash before, or you want to potentially use petroleum-based degreasers, etc., in order to remove as much as possible before you touch the paint. And in my case, I did this during the summer period, so the car was not that dirty, but still. So I then went on ahead and used the 2-bucket method, 1 bucket with clean water and 1 bucket which I dunk the mitt into to remove the dirty water or contaminants from the mitt. And that I will do all over the car, and I always use 2 mitts, 1 for the lower portion and 1 for the upper portion of the car, to reduce the risk of scratching the paint then. So once that is done, we will go ahead with our 2-step contamination removal, and one part of that is to use a iron particle remover. So we spray that on the car. You could use a microfiber cloth or something to actually gently rub it on the surface, or you just let it sit and then rinse it off properly and thoroughly with a pressure washer. The second step of the decontamination part is a more mechanical, which is then to clay the car. And sometimes you can feel that the paint has some rough edges or roughness to the surface, or you think you have properly washed the car with the mitt, etc. But once you start claying the car, you can see that a lot of contaminants usually get stuck up in the clay. In my case, I did use a lubricant and a clay towel and not a clay bar, so to speak then, but either works. You just need to be very gentle, do not put any pressure while you're claying your car, otherwise you will induce scratches and marring, or more scratches and marring than you need, which you need to take care of in the polishing step. And I always recommend that you polish your car once you have clayed it, because you will leave scratches, etc. on the paint. So when that is done, the car needs to be thoroughly rinsed, and the next step after that is to dry the car thoroughly. I use a dryer for my application, and that is to get the water out from all the nooks and crannies, and just to be sure that everything is as dry as possible. And once that is done, I will then go ahead and apply some masking tape on areas which I think my polisher potentially will touch, and that will reduce the workload, because I don't need to remove any excess from any trimmings or wherever we do not want to have any polish residue. And also it protects some of the trimmings, etc., in case we do touch it with the machine then. So once that is done, the next step is then to go over the car with a polishing process, and I would recommend to at least do a 1-step polish. I usually do a 1-step polish. I do take care of my cars during the maintenance washes, etc., so I don't have that much scratches or marring. But a 1-step polish is recommended to do, and you would want to start with the least aggressive combination of pad and compound and find the result that is adequate for you. You don't have to reach 100% perfection, but as long as you can get most of the marring and scratches and swirls off, that is fine. Specifically, if you're doing a ceramic coating, then it might be of a bit more importance to get the paint as good as possible, because once you have applied the ceramic coating, it is super difficult to remove them. But with this type of product, it doesn't last as long, and it's more easy to remove if need be. So once the polishing step is done, you polish the whole car, you remove the rough peaks in the paint, so to speak. You level it down, you give it the gloss the car deserves, and once that is done, it is time to apply the graphene infused flex wax. And for that I used a microfiber pad, and I gently mist 2 sprays onto the pad according to the instructions. It is important that you read them on how to apply it, and I do 1 panel at a time, and then we buff it off, and that we will do with the whole car. And for the buffing part, I did experience that it was a little bit difficult to remove, specifically if I do my buffing off in straight lines. If I went over and doing it in circles with my microfiber cloth, it was easier to remove it, obviously, which is the case for more or less any other sealant or wax or ceramic coating, etc. But I did find it to be a bit difficult to remove. I don't know what it was. I tried to follow the instructions with 2 sprays per panel. I even switched my pad, etc. I don't know if I got too much of the product onto the panels, and also I don't know if it was due to the temperature or what it could be. Here in my garage I have around 22 degrees Celsius, but in my opinion it was a little bit difficult to remove. As an example, Geon Mose, in my opinion, which is a ceramic coating for DIYers, it was more simple compared to this product. So if you have any comments on potentially that, leave them down below. It would be interesting to hear your experience, but that is how I felt. So once we have gone over the whole car with the graphene infused flex wax, we are done with regards to protecting the car, and you could potentially then drive it out if it's raining outside right away, which is not the case with ceramic coatings. And but in my case, I did let the car sit for, I think it was almost 24 hours in the garage, because I didn't have to go anywhere. So the car was sitting here, and I let the product cure properly, which in my opinion is always a good thing. Specifically if we are talking about ceramic coatings, we always need to do that more or less for at least 12 hours. So that is that with regards to applying the base coat. And what I want to show you now is how this product held up. So it is exactly 4 months and 23 days while I'm showing you these clips then. So after 4 months and 23 days, the car has been sitting outside. I almost embarrassed to say, I think I washed the car 4 times or so during that period. First of all, I have not been driving it that much. I think the car in total over a 1-year period has 8,000 kilometers, which is not that much. And it has been sitting there then from June to November. So we are in the summer period and going across into the winter period. And in those maintenance washes that I have done, I have only more or less used pre-washes and rinsed the car off, so no mechanical washing as such. And I have once used a petroleum-based degreaser on the lower portion of the car because it was really dirty. But as you can see, after 4 months and 23 days, we still do have some sheeting, specifically in the vertical spots on the car, let's say on the doors, etc. But on the hood, on the hood of the car and on the top portions of the plastic on the roof, etc., we do not have that much sheeting. It is still beading somewhat, but most of all of those properties have vanished more or less during this period then. And we need to remember, I have not driven the car that much, and also I have not washed it that much either, but still we have seen a quite substantial decrease in those properties. That doesn't necessarily mean that the product has lost its capabilities of protecting your car. It's just that the, how shall I say, the substances or whatever we want to call them, which creates the sheeting properties or the beading properties, have diminished quite substantially then. And as you can see, as a reference then, I did apply a slight mist of Geon wet coat just to show you what a freshly, how shall I say, sealed surface looks like. And it is a quite drastic difference on how the water sheets and how it beads. And also you can see with the portions of the roof where I have Aquapel, you can see the difference on how those products sitting side by side have diminished over time, and I did apply the Aquapel at the same time or same day as I applied the graphene infused flex wax then. So all, in my experience, the product did last, potentially was somewhere around the 3-month marker or so, where I saw it diminishing quite a bit. And when I did record this video, it wasn't that much sheeting or beading left, as you saw in the video. On the vertical areas of the panels, yes, it was a bit easier to sheet, but on some of the other areas it barely did sheet off anything or bead. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a long-term review of the graphene infused flex wax from Turtle Wax. Let's sum it up. So I did experience some issues with buffing off the product when I was applying the base coat, and I believe Carcraft Auto Detail on YouTube, check his channel out. It's a super nice detailing channel and informative. I believe he did experience similar type of issues when buffing off the base coat. I don't know why that is, but that's what I experienced as well. But once it has been applied to the car, the sheeting and beading properties of the product are really nice, and in my opinion it's on par with Seal and Shine, sorry for that. And also I think that the gloss, visually at least, the properties for the gloss was a little bit better on this product compared to Turtle Wax Seal and Shine then. But that's how I see it. If you did like today's video and found it informative, give it a big thumbs up. Do remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon for future content with the car detailing, modifications to the MX-5 if you are interested in that. We also have track days and so on coming in next year then, and anything car related, and hopefully I will start with some sim related uploads as well. But with that said, I'll be seeing you on the next one.